Hey, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, July 12th. Last night was Tuesday, July 11th, and our July board meeting. And so Julys tend to be a little more brief because it is summertime, but there is some important business that is conducted, and we would like to give you a brief update here in this flash report. So with respect to that, our admin reports at 5 o'clock started off with our traditional report on capital updates and projects. That presentation can be found on our website under the board report section, along with all the other materials found and discussed at last night's meeting. We had several recognitions at the 7 o'clock portion of the meeting, including two legislators, Senator Kathleen Reby and Representative Steve Ellison, who've both been key supporters of public education and worked on some critical issues during this last legislative session. We also had Woodrow Wilson Elementary Principal Christine Christensen, who was named the National Distinguished Principal by the Utah Association of Elementary School Principals. It was a pleasure to recognize her for this incredible accomplishment. Through our regular consent and action process, we actually had 3 presentations and action items. The first was a safety and security update related to the pilot project at Hunter High School for the Evolve weapons detection system. The board debated this issue. We had 2 members of the public come and provide comment on that particular agenda item, and the board's decision was to continue the pilot as an in fact pilot to continue to study the issue and the effectiveness of the system as part of a multi-layered approach to our security of the students and staff there at Hunter High School. That will continue through the upcoming school year. We expect some additional discussion on that as we gain more data and insight through surveys and other efforts later this fall, and then again into the spring when we expect a final decision to be made, whether that should be expanded to all schools or whether the pilot should be concluded. Addition to that, the board had to make a legislatively mandated decision whether to participate in parental authorized mental health screening. So there was a bill this last session, 2 years ago actually, that provided a grant program to allow parents to receive mental health screenings through school provided programs or nights. We did not participate in that initial grant and wanted to participate this upcoming year, and the legislature requires that school districts vote whether they're going to participate or not. This does not require a mandate for our students to receive a mental health screening. This is a parental rights bill, and parents will receive the information and decide if they want to allow their child to participate, and then the information and resources would be given to the parent at that point in time for therapy or other mental health services within the community. It's important to understand that schools do not render any sort of decisions on this. We're not mental health experts in that respect. We're simply passing the baton in terms of resources after the screening is done onto the parent, and allowing them to make a decision in behalf of their student and their child. Last but not least, the third action item was part of our ongoing boundary and population analysis study process. We currently were in the process of studying 2 areas, areas 1 and 2, which are basically Bangor Highway West, looking at potential school closures and the reopening of Brockbank Junior High School. The board authorized the continuation of the study to reopen Brockbank as part of the reconfiguration process. That process is also in the middle of its due diligence. And so we expect that will come to a conclusion in January after these boundary adjustments are made as appropriate. The board did make a decision to narrow the focus of the school closure process to 1 school this year. We closed 3 last year, so this is a little bit different, and Western Hills will be continued study for potential closure. That if and when that decision is rendered, that won't happen until November and December of this year, and any closure of any school would not happen until the subsequent year, which would be a year from now. We had 2 policy readings. We had one with respect to our board meetings, a first reading on how they administer their board meetings and just some cleanup items. The second was with respect to corrective action, progressive discipline, and orderly termination, some minor adjustments. That was the second reading. You can read both of those updated policies in draft form on our website, again under the board reports, including all of the presentations that were shared at last night's meeting. We hope this is helpful to you, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks so much.